Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Seals Networks. I have to say, post-pandemic and running an awful lot of virtual events, I never expected to be back in front of a screen so soon, doing another one. That being said, we've got over 250 participants registered for the Seals Networks online platform. So I think it shows there is a need and there is a demand. And there is a desire still, and that people have become much more used to working through an online platform. So yeah, very happy to have everybody here today. And just to give a brief introduction to Seals Networks, it's an online business matching event brought to you by Seals and hosted by StatSolly. I think as an organizing committee, we have a shared vision of promoting local entrepreneurship and attracting foreign investment. And through market insights, research, and intelligence, we understand that one of the best ways to do this is through encouraging partnerships. I have to say, when I started out on this project and our team and the StatSolly team and various other local suppliers and technology providers that are involved, I was very surprised to find out, and this is information that has come through the StatSolly supplier portal, that I think it's around about 95% of companies registered in Suriname are small to mid-sized companies. So, less than 200 employees, and 54% are around 2 to 10 employees. And then I believe only 10% of these companies have international qualifications in their service field. So I think it shows that the development and the growth and the partnerships that is required for the huge amount of investment that is due to come. And it's not a matter of if that investment will come to Suriname. I think it's purely a matter of when. So while that investment is slowly starting to increase, it's a fantastic time for companies to start positioning themselves, for starting to understand the needs of the offshore oil and gas industry and the secondary industries around that, and working out what they need to do to get ready to benefit from that wave of development and investment. And I guess that's the primary purpose of this 2-day online business matching event, to enhance supply development. Partnerships of companies are encouraged, and we aim to support this process to assist your company in growing its business, developing your projects, or expanding your operations in Suriname this year, ahead of the main event in Paramaribo this June. So the platform itself is kind of curated as 2 days of business matching. There's a machine learning algorithm that will help your company match its requirements and meet its needs. So to really make the platform work for you, there are areas where you can fill in information about your company, and then that and your requirements and who you're looking to meet, and then that will make the algorithm more efficient, and the companies it suggests you to meet with will be based on that criteria. So whether you're looking to meet with meet and connect with suppliers, buyers, or distributors, or a local, regional, international company interested in products, partnerships, or joint ventures, the platform is tailored to assist you in expanding your network and achieving these goals. As mentioned, we're really happy with the number of participants in a world that has suffered from 2 years of lockdowns and Zoom fatigue. And I think it's also worth pointing out that Suriname is not the easiest place to get to, as many of us experienced last year and on various trips there. So I think there is a real need for an event like this to help people connect in between those trips to Suriname. So besides the business matching meetings over the next 2 days, the platform will be live until the end of February, so you can keep connecting, you can watch everything on recording, and there's lots of features and functionalities that we would ask you all to explore to really maximize your benefit from the Seals Networks platform. Before introducing our first presenters in this morning's programming block, a few housekeeping notes. If you're watching us through the desktop platform and would like to ask a question, make sure you exit the full screen mode and drop your question on the right-hand side of the Q&A box. If you're watching us through the app, then you'd need to minimize the video, click on Q&A and drop your question in the Q&A box there. There's also a help desk function. So if you've got any questions, you can register a question there, and someone will be able to assist you. With regards to the presenters over the next 2 days, we're very happy to have some fantastic presenters. Some of the presentations will be pre-recorded, but the presenters will be online during the presentation to answer the questions live as they come in. Some will not be available to answer the questions during their presentations, but if you submit the questions, we'll make sure they receive the questions, and then we'll email the answers out to participants once they've been received. And then finally, some speakers will be available live for a Q&A post their presentation, or actually presenting live and then available for a short Q&A afterwards. This is generally indicated in the program, either on the app, the desktop application, or the website, or a hard copy if you've been sent a version of that. Many people I speak to on the work I do on Suriname mention how hard it is to get accurate market intel and insights on developments in Suriname. So, I think that the key point to make there is with so many public and private sector stakeholders and industry leaders here and presenting over the next 2 days, and obviously online, we really want to encourage people to make sure you take this opportunity to ask for that information and pose those questions. And finally, do remember this is a business matching event focused on supplier development and strategic partnerships. So if you haven't already started using the business matching button in the application, we encourage you to log in now and start sending those all important one-to-one meeting requests. We're very happy to have His Excellency Albert Ramdin, Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business and International Cooperation of the Republic of Suriname, Anna Jagason, Managing Director, CEO of Statsoli, Reka Bazumba, Chairwoman, VSB, the Surinamese Business Association, representatives of international oil and gas companies, speakers, all local, regional and international participants, and observing all protocols. I'm very happy to introduce our first presenter of this morning. So Mr. Anna Jagason, Managing Director of Statsoli, holds a bachelor's degree in business economics and a master's degree in business administration, specializing in corporate strategy and economic policy. Prior to becoming the Managing Director, he was Deputy Director of the downstream operations from 2015 to 2021. Mr. Jagason has held several other positions at Statsoli, including Deputy Director of Business Development from 2011 to 2015, Manager Corporate Planning from 2008 to 2011, Manager Finance Administration from 2001 to 2008, coordinating management information from 1998 to 2001, and Manager FA Projects from 1996 to 1998. So I don't know anyone else who knows the business as well as Anand, and I'm very happy to welcome him as our host to deliver this morning's welcome address.
Dear participants, with the protocols observed, I want to extend a very warm welcome to you all on behalf of Statsoli. We are extremely proud to be able to provide these kinds of platforms to develop capabilities hand in hand with providing readily available capacity in our country to the offshore contractors. With this CIOX Networks events, the focus will be on what your company has to do to become a supplier in the offshore oil and gas industry and on entering cooperations. We are eager to develop goods and service delivery out of Suriname. Several initiatives have been taken, and we're happy to see that it is really happening. I will list some examples in this regard. A number of key operators are reporting their operations out of a Surinamese port. The port is literally the place from which goods and services go to the offshore activities, so of key importance. Secondly, we have set up a secondary technical educational stream to focus on oil and gas, and currently 30 students are enrolled in that program. And in 1.5 years, they will be ready to go. Furthermore, after a tender process, a large local company was selected to set up safety training and certification. Latest news is that they will start up around the middle of this year. Finally, in the list of examples, there are firm talks ongoing to set up a national safety certification standard that can be acceptable to offshore operators. So we don't have to recertify people every time they work for another contractor. Please help us extend this list by increasing your readiness to provide goods and services to the offshore oil and gas sector. Wish you a fruitful 2 days and keeping my fingers crossed for a lot of learnings for you, as well as a lot of cooperation initiatives. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Anand, for your welcome address. And I think there was some really, key developments happening in Suriname there, and you mentioned some of them, the port complex. And am I correct in thinking that it's that one of the offshore drilling operations has been completely run out of Suriname from this port complex, and that's a first for the country?
Yeah, so the current Block 58 activities are done completely out of the port.
Fantastic.
And in Block 42, Shell has also used the port fully.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge message to all the international companies that are listening there, that there is a capability already in Suriname to in-house and run these sort of operations. So that's fantastic news. And I think the Technical Education Institute is fantastic to hear about as well. I heard you mentioned that already you have 30 students enrolled in that. And is that something you're looking to expand out in the coming years?
Yeah, so let me go back a little bit. We use a lot of these students in our company. As a matter of fact, I think more than 40% of our employees come from this school. Wow. So you can see that this is a very key school in the oil and gas business. We intend to every year to educate 30 people specializing in oil and gas, because they already have the civil education, they have electrical and what have you. So we're just helping them to specialize into oil and gas, let's say, expertise and experience.
Fantastic. And I think, as you may recall, we had 20, maybe 25 students on site with us at last year's SEALS 2022. And I have to say they were fantastic. I mean, we worked with students in lots of different countries, but they were so engaged, so enthusiastic. I think they mainly came from AAPG Youth Chapter and from Anton University, but obviously we'd like to plug into the new Technical Training Institute to make sure we have some of those students supporting the event this year. I think that was a fantastic thing. And so, yeah, we really appreciate your time and any sort of final comments you'd like to make ahead of the rest of these 2 days, or ahead of the main event in Paramaribo this June.
Yeah, Alex, thank you for that. Yeah, I want to say regarding the students, they're just waiting to show off their capabilities and their seriousness, and focus on getting good things done for Suriname. Regarding the local and international companies, Suriname is a very serious place where we are serious about doing business, and you will find in Staatsolie a very good partner to coordinate and facilitate. But of course, what we would like is that the companies themselves go to the offshore contractors. And why this cooperation is very important, we hope that there's some international companies that have already done work for international oil and gas contractors that can team up with Surinamese companies as to share, what needs to be done to enlist in the databases and to increase confidence with the offshore contractors that this job can be done. So I encourage especially the local companies to try to engage with any international companies that are in the conference in this event, to see how to exchange and work together to make that surface delivery out of Suriname possible.
Fantastic. There were a couple of other things you reminded me of. Then I was in Trinidad and Tobago for the Energy Chamber conference last week, and the head of BP, one of the comments he made about what benefits does Trinidad have is he said, well, people want to work with Trinidad and Tobago, and I could say very much the same for Suriname. It's the strapline for the event we've been organizing in partnership with Statsoli is Suriname Open for Business, and from a personal point of view and from everybody I speak to, Suriname is very much open for business. There, the infrastructure, the level of education, of understanding, of knowledge, the quality of the food, the warmth of the people. They are open for business, and they are serious about business. And I think that resonated with me, because I heard that last week, and I think it applies very much to Suriname as well. And I can certainly say, Statsoli are a fantastic partner. We've absolutely loved working with you over the previous few years, and we hope to be able to support Statsoli and Suriname over the coming years. We as a specialist energy event organizer have a joint venture model, as you know, and work in lots of markets around the world. And I have to say, Suriname is definitely up there as one of my favorite markets to operate in. And then just finally on my side, again, coming back to the student, and the sort of the youth of today will be the leaders of tomorrow. And one of the additional kind of streams we're adding to the final day of SEALS 2023 this year is a youth empowerment program. So yeah, that we're really hoping to showcase the youth and their ability and their enthusiasm, and help connect them with the internationals and local companies looking for that capacity. And sorry, we have had a few questions coming through as well, but I was so busy talking, I was missing them. So one of the questions that has come in, if you don't mind me posing it, is where are the gaps in technical skills needed to develop Suriname oil and gas, and where do you need new types of skills?
That's, it's a very broad question. I would say with this secondary technical education that we have picked up, this is where we see the most employees will be needed. We have to start to say that, the oil and gas sector is not very extensive in employment. It's more capital intensive. But I see a lot of opportunities in the spin-off. I mean, we will need hotels, we'll need financial services, people will conduct tourism activities, and what have you. The restaurants will grow, as you can also see in Guyana. So also in the spin-off industries, which are not so much technical, I think we need to focus on that, especially because that's where I think the major part of the employment will come from. And one last remark is, we as Statsoli, we have a refinery. A floating production platform looks a lot like a refinery, so we can bring the secondary technical students to our refinery to gain expertise, hands-on expertise in our refinery, so they are well prepared to go and work offshore Suriname. I hope that answers the question. I will add the person in the app as well.
Excellent. No, I think it does. And I think, that's one thing that many people aren't aware of sometimes when they're new to Suriname as a market, about just how long Statsoli have been operating. So you are the custodians of the industry. It's not like you haven't been doing this for a very long time. There was another question, if we've got time for one more. Suriname Open for Business is a great phrase, so that's a good start to the question. And the question is actually then based around, how does it compete for investment, or how does it best compete for investment with other nearby mature markets?
Yeah, so especially the oil and gas industry, I think our competitive advantage is the fact that we have relatively large reservoirs offshore Suriname, which makes the cost per barrel for production in the future makes it relatively low. And this is, on the mind of everybody in the oil and gas business, is, climate change and energy transition. So eventually there will be a lot of renewables, but it will gradually move. And then the name of the game is to be at the lowest end of the, the cost scale, because that's where you fall off as a last. You are the last one standing, hopefully. But these large reservoirs in Suriname give us that position that we can compete with the mature market.
Yeah, no, I think that's very accurate. And just to add to that, obviously Staatsolie are a great partner because they have the knowledge. And from what I hear, and I don't know all the details, I've heard that the current Demerara bid round you have going on is very competitive. So, I just hear stuff from people I'm talking to, but I hear the fiscal stuff around that is really competitive. And there are other questions starting to fly in, but I think we're running out of time. So all I would say to people that are posting questions is please keep posting them. We will send them across to all the presenters and then repost them or email them out afterwards. But an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you very much for opening Seals Networks, and we're very much looking forward to the main event in Paramaribo this June.
Thanks, Alex.
Perfect. So, I mean, that was a fantastic opening and really, really insightful. And moving on to our second presenter today, I'd like to introduce Reka Bazumba, who is the new chairwoman from VSB, the Surinamese Business Association. I won't try and pronounce that in Dutch, but I think everybody knows who VSB are. And I may be incorrect, but I do believe she's the first chairwoman of VSB. So that's fantastic news and worth mentioning. So Reka is an experienced and transformational leader with a demonstrated history of more than 23 years in the oil and gas industry, and currently the chair of the executive board of the Suriname Business Association, VSB. She's a board member of two joint venture gold partnerships, chair of the supervisory board of GoW2, and director of upstream at Staatsolie. Reka is also a board member of the Association of Petroleum Enterprises of Latin America, ARPEL, who are an organization we know very well and work with very closely, member of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, and member of the American Association of Petroleum Geologists. So certainly a woman that knows her business. She holds an executive MBA from the IMD Business School of Switzerland and a master's degree in management and accounting. So yeah, very happy to introduce Reka as our next speaker. I don't believe she's available for a live Q&A at the end of the presentation, but please do submit your questions during the presentation, and we make sure they get answered and posted back into the platform or emailed out afterwards.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third Suriname Energy and Oil and Gas Networking event. VSB, the largest business association of Suriname, is also a very proud partner of this very important event. I will share with you a quick overview of the VSB and our perspective. VSB was established in 1950. And currently, we represent more than 230 companies from all different sectors. Our vision is transforming the business society to private sector growth acceleration, economic development, and social well-being. In our vision, we also know that we have to take into account that Suriname is already net zero, that we also need to secure the access to energy to achieve the sustainable growth. Energy transition will have to be different in Suriname due to the energy poverty in Suriname. The energy transition will be slower compared to different areas in the world. We need to secure the energy poverty and make sure that we have a community and a business that is flourishing and growing and will improve the social well-being of Suriname. Our focus areas as VSB are promoting close and decisive cooperation between members and interested groups, locally, regionally, and internationally. We promote the practice of good corporate governance and compliance in our private sector. Capacity building is of great importance. We have to secure the technical resources, and we have to have them in country to make sure that we realize the growth that we are envisioning. To help formulate and promote the macroeconomic policy framework, we put a lot of attention on working with the government to help achieve high rates of sustained economic growth. Also, greater transparency is needed, and we promote and influence this greater transparency and efficiency and accountability in the operations of the public sector by regularly being in contact with them and having joint understandings on transparency and development. This networking event is a very important event. We have to partner for success. Partnering for success, that means that we have to look for cross-border partnership. This will help accelerate business growth for all. We need to partner for solutions. By partnering with small and medium enterprises, multinational firms will strengthen local entrepreneurship, create skilled employment, and promote knowledge and technology transfers. This means sustainable development, good for all. Partnering with local contractors and communities is of utmost importance. It means we will be including local content. Local understanding and network will be beneficial if you include local content. It will also give you the social license to operate. Supply chain partnering for services and goods from local and elsewhere will help to secure the business risk. The options are diverse in sectors ranging from logistics, transportation, food supply, security, construction, and other sectors. The partnering with the local content will be very beneficial on long term because it will be cost efficient. We encourage public-private partnership because it's a joint responsibility and it will help accelerate the growth, the sustainable economic growth that we all envision. Capacity building and partnership is of utmost importance too. We have to prepare together. Together, we need to prepare for the oil and gas developments and the spin-off effects. Lastly, I need to emphasize again local content. Local content needs to get more attention. It will help generate economic growth with the industrial expansion and all the spillover effects coming from the oil developments and more. With the local content development objectives, the focus on capability building, getting policies in place, enhancing the macroeconomic environment will all get our attention. And together with the public sector, we will help improve this. The VSB thanks you for your attention and wishes you great success in this networking event. Thank you and good luck.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, Reka, for that presentation. And as I said, any questions will be posted and emailed out afterwards. And we'll see if we can share that presentation too. So yeah, I'm very, very happy and honoured to be able to introduce our next speaker, His Excellency Albert Ramden, Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business and International Cooperation of the Republic of Suriname. He's going to be presenting live, and you know, I've met the Honourable Minister a number of times over recent years, and he's a fantastic and articulate speaker. So just to give you a little bit of background, on the 16th of July 2020, His Excellency Albert Ramden was appointed as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business and International Cooperation of the Republic of Suriname. Minister Ramden has over 20 years of experience in international negotiation, multilateral diplomacy, development assistance, public policy, development and execution, strategic trade and business facilitation, project management, fundraising, and key expertise in competitiveness. He has worked on institutional reform and restructuring at government, non-governmental levels and in the private sector to achieve tangible solutions and results. Mr. Ramden started his international career in 1997 as the permanent representative of the Organization of American States for Suriname. And on the 19th of July 2005, he took office as the Assistant Secretary General of Organization of American States. In 1999, Minister Ramden also served an Assistant General for External Relations in the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. And after completing his second term as Assistant Secretary General at the Organization of American States in 2015, Minister Ramden returned to the Republic of Suriname, his birthplace, to contribute to the further development of the nation. In Suriname, Minister Ramden has been involved in several activities ranging from the contributions to the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, chair of the mining group in the Trade and Business Organization, and prior to his appointment as minister, he was the Senior Director of External Relations at Newmont, Suriname. So again, a gentleman with a fantastic record, history and expertise, and very happy to have him joining us today and happy to introduce the Honourable Minister.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Alex, and I apologize upfront for my voice. I'm under the weather a bit. So I'll leave you with a couple of messages. First of all, welcome to everybody, and thank you very much for Staatsolie and the organizers to put this online business matching event together. I think it's important, it's relevant, especially in the context of the business we're talking about. And of course, let me immediately extend an invitation to all to visit Suriname, if you have not done so already, in June when we have the SEOX meeting. I believe online business events are great, necessary, but the best way to learn a country is to be in the country, to meet your counterparts, to see the country, to basically get a taste of the country. And with that, I want to introduce a couple of things. First of all, the government of President Santokhi is very much pro-business, very much welcoming business partners to Suriname for the further development. We strongly believe that private sector and the government need to work together to be able to create a sustainable economy, a growing economy, a strong foundation for future development for next generations. So feel welcome, not only as coming to the country, but also to the from the perspective of the government. The second thing I like to say is, Anand already mentioned, there is already some capabilities developed. Build on that. Be part of strengthening, expanding that capability. And that will be good for your business, will be good for us as well. Because what we want to do is create a win-win situation. A win-win situation for the industry, for the government, for the people of Suriname, but certainly for the businesses that will decide to partner with Suriname or to be active in Suriname. We want everybody to be a winner in this case. And I think it's possible because we have done it already in the gold mining industry. And I must say, investing in Suriname, you will meet good people, people that are willing, that are able, that are capable to apply the skill sets they learn, they acquire. So, and I speak from practical experience. When Newmont was built, it was built on time with 90%, 95% Surinamese. It was built on time, under budget, and with a safety record nowhere else found. That is the kind of Surinamese employees, technical teams you will find, very much capable in delivering. So this is a matter of finding the right partners. And this is what I want to say, is that in laying a strong foundation for economic development, we are going through a rough time currently. I have to mention that, but we are laying a foundation on the basis of reforms for strong economic growth, supporting production capacity, because that's the only way to come out of an economic recession, is by earning more. And that's what we want to achieve. So what does Suriname offers you? We have a capable partner in Staatsoli. You have a capable partner in Staatsoli and in other companies. But don't focus only on oil and gas. There is much more. And Anand referred to that a little bit. There are spin-offs. Spin-offs in terms of goods and services in different sectors. Spin-offs in terms of manpower development, legal and financial services, food and lodging, tourism. We have seen it in the region, agriculture. All these sectors will bind into this oil and gas development industry, and you can be part of it. So it's not only the technical skill sets for oil and gas alone. There is much more to be gained from Suriname. So what do we offer? First of all, we offer you as potential business partners a welcoming environment of people, a diverse culture, a social environment that is not only welcoming, but also from a historic and cultural perspective, attractive. And you will feel that when you come to Suriname. You will not want to leave Suriname once you experience the cuisine, the cultural diversity, the people, the hospitality, the friendliness, and most of us speak English as well, so you can communicate. We also offer a committed government in terms of pro-business, in terms of inviting you and listening to you, see where we can be of assistance in terms of making the business much more amenable, but also profitable. We have a legal framework, which I think is very important for investors to provide securities. A legal framework that is strong, well staffed and managed, independent and consistent. And I think that is something which investors will appreciate. We have not breached contracts with international companies, major international companies. Global companies have been active more than 100 years in Suriname, and I don't think they can complain about the fact that we had challenges with agreements that have been reached with governments or other parties. So I think that's a good record to hold. We are in a process, because we know that not everything is perfectly organized. We are in a process of improving ease of doing business. Let me give you two examples. One is visa liberalization. You don't need a permit, a visa, to come to Suriname. You pay the $25 entry fee, and you can come in Suriname for 3 months for business purposes, touristic purposes, family visit, and so on. You just need a valid passport, the necessary medical documents, and you just get a plane and come to Suriname. That will ease your entrance into the Surinamese market. But beyond that, once you have decided to set up shop, to set up business, we are in a process of simplifying and shortening the procedure for work permits up to 2 weeks instead of the many months you have to wait. Not only shortening the procedure, the time for the procedure, but also simplifying it. So less documentation, and that will ease your business of getting the right people in whenever you need them. We also want you to consider, and I urge you to do that, is to partner with Surinamese entrepreneurs. That will make you local content de facto. Once you have established a company in Suriname and you partner with a Surinamese firm, you become local content, and that will provide you lots of opportunities in terms of business. And we have Surinamese parties who have been able to develop their local content very well and surface not only the oil and gas industry, but also the mining and other parts of international business in Suriname. So let's create a win-win situation for both local and yourself. I wanted also to indicate that we are in a process of updating relevant pieces of legislation to accommodate business doing internationally. We know that the oil and gas industry is complex at times in terms of the international rules and regulations. We want to comply with those. And for that reason, we started already updating the petroleum law. And we just got passed yesterday in Parliament the law on the expansion of the territorial waters and the judicial application of that. And I think with all of this, you will find an environment in Suriname of all involved parties, the government, the private sector, Staatsolie, State Oil, FSB, willing to partner with you all. And I would appreciate if you could do two things, maybe three. One is do not wait until everything is perfectly organized. You know from your own experience, you may be too late to enter the market if everything is perfectly well. This is the best time to enter the Surinamese market. This is the beginning. It creates what I call a loyalty bonus. We will not forget your decision to enter this market as an operator. Secondly, do not see Suriname only as one market. When you operate in Suriname, you will be able to access, if you see it as a hub, access a market of 700 million people. So I invite you to invest in Suriname, partner with a local company, but also to set up shop as a hub where you can service the whole Caribbean, Latin America as a whole. That's 700 million people, a growing middle class. Many of the services you will provide are not only relevant to Suriname, but to the neighboring countries. And that is also something which we offer. And for regional headquarters, for sub-regional headquarters, feel free to do that. And as you heard earlier on, the port facilities are being developed and they're becoming up to par with international standards. My last point is visit Suriname in June coming, simply because that's the best way to learn the country. If you not have been here before, I'm sure you will see a different picture of Suriname than only from the pictures you see. And not to confuse you, the background which I have, that's a beautiful island in the Caribbean, because that's a larger market. Suriname is even more beautiful when we look at the interior and all the rapids and the forest and all the biodiversity you can experience. So there is so much to offer by Suriname to you as an entrepreneur, as a potential investor. And the only thing I can say, come to Suriname, talk to your partners, see what we can do as a government, and we'll be able to facilitate you. Thank you very much for participating, and I look forward to your presence later this year. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you very much, Minister. Do you have time for a couple of questions, or are we out of time?
I can take a couple of questions, yes.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, first, I really just wanted to sort of reiterate much of what you said. I mean, Suriname is a fantastic place for many of the reasons you mentioned, and I think, you know, the point you made about access to a much larger market is an important thing for internationals to think about. The geolocation of Suriname is extremely strategic. The access into Brazil, the access into the Caribbean. I mean, the access into Europe through the relationship with Holland. It's something that a lot of people don't I think pick up on straight away. And also, you know, that the point you made about the first mover advantage, it's such an important thing in a growing economy to get in there first. And I think the phrase is, you know, fortune favors the bold. So you know, I'd just like to re-emphasize that it's important to get there now and start preparing for the business you want to do in the country. And you know, I met a lot of companies recently actually that have already started registering their businesses in Suriname and sourcing local partners, and that is certainly what this online event is here to help and promote. And as you said, this is really just an opportunity for people to start connecting ahead of the main event in June, where we're hoping to go bigger and better than last year, and there just seems to be a huge amount of global interest in Suriname for many of the reasons you've mentioned, and all of the work you're doing on creating a business friendly environment and easing the ease of doing business. Just to pick up on one thing that you mentioned, and sorry for me to ask a question. You mentioned that the visa on arrival, is that actually a visa on arrival process now, or it's just a much more simplified process?
No, it's very simple. The only thing you don't need to apply for a visa. There is no need to register for a visa.
Okay.
From wherever you are, the only thing you need to do is through VFS Global to pay your entry fee. And the entry fee is $25 per person per visit. That's all. Nothing else. So you don't need to fill in a form. You come with a valid passport. If you have paid the VFS global fee of 25, you will get a notification, a confirmation of your payment. You show that at the airport and you're in.
I mean, that's really fantastic. And that's why I wanted to just pick up on it and re-clarify and ask the question, because I think that's changed even since the last time I came to Suriname. So I'm currently on a 2-year business visa, and I remember that was a little bit complicated first time around. So that's fantastic news. We've got a couple of questions that have come in as well. So let me just see. So one of the questions is it conceivable that in the mid to long term, Suriname, given its fantastic geolocation, can develop into the sort of energy hub for the region, like Trinidad and Tobago has been able to do so over the previous decades?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We are discussing energy cooperation with neighboring countries. We have a strategic partnership platform with Guyana. We are discussing at a strategic level with the government of Trinidad and Tobago their involvement in this process, and we include Barbados as well. So in the southern part of the Caribbean, we are very much looking to strengthen collaboration. Yeah. We are very much aware that oil and gas development will attract a lot of interest from capital flows, but also security issues, but also collaboration within the region. We want to create a pretty prosperous region in the CARICOM. So all CARICOM countries should benefit from these resources. And the reason we're saying that is because we need political stability, which we have currently. We need a good security environment in the region. And for that, we need to work together in the region. And that's why the Energy Alliance will not only be about energy alone. It will be about creating an environment which is conducive to doing business in the right way and for a long term. So we like to partner up with others, but we do the same with Brazil as well. So it's looking north and south. We are discussing strategic energy opportunities with the United States as a nearby market as well. And of course, we are looking at other markets in the Middle East and in the Far East. So there is a lot of interest in seeing Suriname as a hub for energy, but also in terms of other products that can be seen as a spin-off from the oil and gas industry. So very much so, and we must realize that Suriname is a small market in terms of the labor force. So we are very much aware of the challenges that brings to this industry. We are open, and that's why we're very much liberalizing our migration policies to welcome also expats and others who can bring the necessary skill set to develop the industry.
Fantastic. And I think as you mentioned, it was an open invite for people to go to Paramaribo to visit Suriname, and for myself personally, I always find you need to to learn a city or learn a country, you need to meet with the locals, to meet with the expats, to experience it as a tourist. So, you know, we encourage everybody to do that. And I think it's just such a refreshing to hear about the way you're working together with other countries, particularly sitting here in broken Britain that exited Europe and in a fragmented world. I find that actually the Caribbean and you know, the region you're speaking from is really open to that regional collaboration and you know, stronger together. So yeah, really fantastic. Thank you so much for your participation and for speaking to us live today, Honourable Minister. And yeah, we really appreciate your support and very much looking forward to the main event in Paramaribo this June.
Thank you very much, and Alex, and also to all the participants, make sure that you do business. To the Surinamese participants, make sure that you team up, invite and facilitate as much as you can. This is good for Suriname, this is good for your own business, but ultimately it's good for the people involved in all of this. We are looking for profitable business, for long-term sustainable development, and making sure that our people have an income for generations to come. Thank you very much, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you. Fantastic, everybody. I mean, you know, really fantastic presentations and speakers this morning, and you know, great overviews and insights on the opportunities already available in Suriname and emerging opportunities to come. Please make sure you take advantage of the business matching. You know, if you haven't already started sending meeting requests, please do. We have structured business matching blocks during today and tomorrow. So, you know, all you need to do is send a meeting request to another person, and if you match, then you'll pop into a 15-minute live one-to-one meeting. And then, as I said earlier on this morning, then the platform will be open till the end of this month, so you can continue networking and expanding your networks and your business development. So, yeah, really appreciate everyone being here. A fantastic opening morning, and we'll see you all in just over an hour for the next programming block that is focused on investing and doing business in Suriname. Thanks again.